I know that these days the main thing people think about whenever somebody hears bad for artists is AI. I mean, it's everywhere. There are tons and tons of videos on it, and I might have one coming in the future too, but that's not what we're gonna focus on today, because I'd like to put a little spotlight on something else. Artblock, or burnout, whichever you want to call it, is something that plagues every single type of artist and every single artist on the planet at one point or another. I too recently had a very big batch of this, and I was hoping to share a couple things that helped me get through it. Artblock and burnout isn't something that just pertains to people that draw. It pertains to any kind of creative and honestly any kind of hobbyist. You can get burnout from playing video games, which I know sounds ridiculous, but man, those FromSoft games kick my ass.
You got this? You got this? You got this? No!
But like I said, it affects every kind of creative. Whether you're a writer, a sculptor, a photographer, somebody that does animation, somebody that does illustration, it's for everyone. It isn't picky. Recently I had this very dry spell where I was almost afraid to approach the canvas. Everything that I drew felt forced. It had no soul. And I know a lot of other people that have felt this way before. And anytime I feel even close to something like this, I try and do a few things to keep my mind off of art. One of my favorite things to do when it comes to that is rewatching a good show or movie. I tend to really appreciate a good story, whether it be animated or live action or stop motion or what have you. If I can sense that there was at least some kind of heart and soul put into it, I'll probably like it to some extent. And just the fact of that makes me motivated to get up and try and put something down on that canvas. But sometimes that's not enough. Another thing I like to turn to when faced with Artblock is music. Music has been a huge part of my life ever since I can remember. I mean, I even have family that deals with people in the industry, and it really shaped my taste in music growing up. And I luckily have a lot of other people in my life that have a very wide array of taste in music, that are able to pretty much listen to any kind of genre that you can think of. When I listen to a song, I can just hear every single individual part of it, whether it be the tiniest little melody from a flute or a piano or whatever, to some bass in the background or the little inconsistencies in a voice. I don't know what it is, but it just kind of lets me lose myself in it. When I put on headphones and I put on a good song, I'm in an entirely different world. I become just unbothered by anything else, because the only thing I care about in that moment is the music. It's even inspired me to do a couple of my pieces, whether I take lyrics too literally for some of them, or whether it's just a feeling that comes across whenever I'm doing my art and listening to music at the same time, because I have to do it. I don't know what it is. I have to play music when I do my art. Otherwise it's not gonna work. So you may be saying, well, I've tried that. I've tried listening to music. I've tried watching TV or movies and different things that I enjoy. I've tried reading a good book. Well, if none of that works, there's always spending time with your family and friends. Now, I know, not everybody has the availability that they might like to have when it comes to spending time with people, and it's completely understandable. But if you truly have people that you can be yourself around, I highly suggest you go and spend some time with them. It's beneficial to everyone. It just puts you in a mindset. It gets all of those thoughts of being scared of that canvas out of your head and into now. It's very easy to lose yourself when you're in your own head, but when somebody else is there with you, somebody that you love and you trust, it's a lot easier to pull yourself out of it. And even if that doesn't work, let's say you're in a position like me, my family isn't around all the time, and all of my friends are long distance now. I moved recently, so I don't really know anybody around here. Then there's always my very special thing that I like to save as a last resort if nothing else works, and that is making art bad on purpose. Just making terrible art on purpose. I just throw away all of my worries and doubt about how good I can make a piece and how I can make my skills work like they're supposed to, and how, thinking about this or that or, whatever. I just throw all of that aside and just make the most horrendous shit I can think of. And I don't mean like just like disgusting or, insane thing or, things or anything like that. I just mean like, bad looking art. Like it's something that you don't care about. Like you're just lost in trying to make it look funny or, the process. And it really like surprisingly helps. I tried this for the first time, I want to say like 2 years ago or so. And every case of Artblock that I've had to go to that point to get out of, easily fixed within like 1 or 2 pieces of just terrible art. I don't know what it is. It just kind of gets me out of that mindset of worrying about mistakes and all that kind of stuff. And it just fixes things. This is my ultimate weapon against Artblock. And an extension of this is you can share your terrible art with the people that I was talking about before, the ones that you love, the ones that you care about, your friends, your family, even if it's in an online community, which I have also made one of those recently. Yes, that's right. This is an ad for my Discord. You can't get away. Anyways, right now I do have a pretty small server, about like 40 of us, but honestly only around like 16 of us are really active that much. But it's a nice place. There are a lot of nice people there, and it's just a nice little place to hang out right now. I would eventually like to make it into this place where everybody can push each other to get better, so that we won't have to deal with any other troubles like Artblock or AI ever again. So if that's something you're interested in, it's in the description if you want to join. We would be happy to have you. And your amazing art, or if you're having Artblock and are making it on purpose, terrible art, it doesn't matter. It's just a fun place, a good time, and good people. Artblock is something that everybody has to deal with, but it doesn't mean you have to deal with it alone, or that you have to deal with it for very long. So if any of these tips actually helped you, I'm just glad. I'm glad that even if you tried it and it didn't work, maybe you found something else along the way, and I'm glad that helped you. And if you have any ideas about helping with Artblock or Burnout, feel free to mention them in the comments. I'd love to expand my knowledge on it. Anyways, hope this helped, and I hope you guys have a great day. See ya.